Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Aisha Rashid Khan from Southern Business School, University of Southern Punjab, Multan. Today we are going to discuss the concept of strategic human resource management and the learning objectives. By the end of this lecture, students will be able to define the principles of strategic human resource management as proposed by Ondrick and Inger in 1984, explain the strategic role of HR in business planning and executive, and recognize how HR accountability is distributed across all manager levels, evaluate how HR adapts to external pest, political, economic, social, technological factors, apply these principles to real-world organizational scenarios. And in our previous session, we learned how strategic HRM links HR practices with long-term organizational goals. Today, we explore how HR becomes truly strategic through three principles introduced by Ondrick and Inger. These principles shift HR from an administrative function to the proactive strategic partner. HR is integrated into strategy, and the number one point is the formulation. HR is not something you bring after strategy is made. It is where strategy begins, and the traditional HR was seen as a support function brought in after key business decisions were made. However, in strategic HRM, this mindset changes fundamentally. When HR is integrated into strategy formulation, it becomes a strategic partner in shaping the direction of the organization from the very beginning. This means HR is involved during business planning sessions. HR contributes to identify workforce capabilities needed to achieve business objectives. HR helps assess whether the current talent pool matches future needs. HR provides insights into labor market trends, skills shortage, and training requirements. Why it matters? Business strategies such as launching new products, entering global markets, adapting new technologies, all depend on people to execute them. If HR is excluded from strategic planning, the organization may face skill gaps, there may be delays in hiring or training, poor workforce planning may lead to project failure or low performance. But if HR is included, the business has the right people in the right roles at the right time. HR can align recruitment, training, performance management, and successful planning with strategic goals. It helps the organization gain a sustainable competitive advantage through its human capital. For example, telecom company planning FG rollout. A telecom company wants to launch 5G services in the next 12 months. If HR is involved from the start, HR works with technical teams to forecast talent needs. They begin recruiting network engineers and training existing staffs. HR develops retention strategies to key skilled professionals, and the outcome is project meets deadlines, skilled for workforce in its place. If HR is brought in later, there is a delay in finding skilled workforce. Current employees lack training in 5G technology. The rollout is delayed and the company loses market share. And the example 2, retail chain expanding into rural markets. A national retail chain plans to open the 5G new outlets in rural Pakistan. With HR's early involvement, HR develops a local hiring strategy, designs training programs tailored for semi-skilled workers. It considers language, culture, and linguistics in workforce planning, and the result, the expansion is smooth, benefit accepted by the community, and morals and the cost effective. Strategic alignment start with HR. When HR is at the strategy table, it can ensure that people capabilities match business goals, making strategy realistic, achievable, and sustainable. Let me know if you are like a visual slide and or diagram summarizing this concept. Practical example, a telecom company planning to launch 5G involves HR in early strategy, and HR forecasts the needs for network engineers and the cybersecurity experts and AI specialists. HR designs internal reskilling programs for current technical staff. This integration ensures timely talent acquisitions and smooth project execution. Accountability for HR is shared at all levels. Every manager is an HR manager, and the explanation, HR is not just the responsibility of the HR department. Instead, line managers, teams, leaders, and supervisors must implement HR policies such as recruiting, coaching, performance management, conflict resolution, and for example, in a bank, branch managers conduct interviews for hiring new customer services, staff oversees performance evaluation, report employee concerns to HR. This shared accountability improves communication and execution of HR policies at ground level. HR responds to the external pest environment. HR must scan the environment just like the marketing or finance does. And for example, HR must be agile and responsive to political changes, labor laws, quotas, compliance, economic conditions, inflation, wage pressure, social trends, gender, diversity, work-life balance, and the technological shifts, automation, digital tools, and for example, a detailed explanation of the example showing how an FMCG's companies entering Pakistan applies the PEST framework, political, economic, social, technological in its strategic human resource management. For example, FMCG's companies entering Pakistan, HR responses to external environment, pest analysis. When a fast-moving consumer goods FMCG's company expands into a new international market like Pakistan, it must strategically adapts its HR policies to external environment factors. This is a practical application of one of the principles of strategic human resource management. HR must respond to the external environment honoring and injure in 1984. Let's break it down using the PEST model. Political factors, compliance with labor laws, adaptation. The company modified its HR policies to comply with Pakistan's labor laws, including minimum wage, working hour, employee contracts, and occupational safety. And why it is important? Failure to align with local regulations can result in legal penalties, licensing issues, and reputational damage. HR strategy: hire local HR legal advisor, update employee contractors to meet national standards, implement grievance rehearsals, and labor rights education. And the economic factor include the competitive salary and the adaptation. The company benchmarks salaries and benefits according to local market rates in Pakistan to remain attractive to skilled. And why it is important: overpaying increases cost, while underpaying leads to high turnover and poor employer branding. And the HR strategy is that conduct a market wage survey, design a competitive compensation structure, include performance bonuses to motivate and retain staff, and the social factor includes cultural sensitivity and workforce practices adaptation. HR developed policies that respect local customs such as the certainly. Here is a example of each. When an FMCG companies enter Pakistan, focuses on cultural alignments. A key elements of strategy HR understand the social components of PEST, social adaptation in cultural alignment in Pakistan. In a culturally diverse and rigorously rooted economy like Pakistan, HR strategies must align with social values and norms to ensure satisfaction. Below are the model dress and the female dress. In many regions of dress is not only also a social norm rooted in Islamic values. And the HR action: HR may establish dress policies, encourages loose, non-revealing clothes, uniforms if used may include headscarves, hijabs, or long tunics, and reduce trousers for female staff. In international, female managers may receive culture orientation training on appropriate dress. And the benefits respecting dress norms ensures high acceptance by local communities and employees, reduce workplace conflicts or discomforts. A positive brand image in conservative markets, separate workplaces or timings for men and women if required. If some traditional or rural regions of Pakistan, gender segregation is valued. If cultural or religious reasons, especially manufacturing or customer service environments, HR action provide designated workforces or break areas for men and women. Consider shift scheduling that minimize gender overlap. It required by community standards, ensure equal opportunities and pay despite workforce segregation. And the benefit enhances community trust and employee comfort, reduce potential cultural resistance or backlash, encourages female participation in the workforce in culturally sensitive areas, shift schedules respecting religions, holidays and prayer times, Islam is the dominant religion in Pakistan, and observance of religion practices like daily prayers 5 times a day and festivals like Eid, Ramzan is important. And the HR action allocates short breaks during work hours for daily prayers, especially Jummah on Fridays. Adjust workloads and hours during Ramzan, example reduce working hours or evening shifts. Ensure public holidays for religions festivals are included in the annual calendar, and the benefit promote employee well-being, spiritual satisfaction and work-life balance, builds loyalty and trust between employers and the employees, enhances workforce harmony and reduces absenteeism during religious events. Strategic takeaways include these: adaptation reflect the principle that HR must respond to the external, especially social environment. Honoring Canadians in 1984 defined strategic HRM that aligns with local cultural realities is essential for smooth market entry, workforce integration and sustainable growth. Why it is important? Cultural sensitivity can lead to low morale, resistance and employee dissatisfaction, and the HR strategy includes conduct cultural awareness training for foreign managers, involve local community leaders in the onboarding practices and ensure inclusion and respectful workforce practices. Technological factor training on EPR systems, adaptation to maintain efficiency. The company rolls out its global enterprise resources planning system, SAP, Oracle in the new location. Why it is important? Local employees may lack familiarity with these systems, which can hinder operations. HR strategy include organize technical training sessions for new staff, pair experienced staff with local recruitment or on the job learning system, set up 24/7 IT support team during the transition phase. And the conclusion, this example shows how strategic HRM must be dynamic and responsive to the external business environment by aligning HR practices with political, economic, social and technological factors. The FMCG companies builds a locally respected employer brand, ensures smooth operations, gains a competitive edge in the Pakistani market. And the case is Toyota global expansion strategy. Toyota includes HR leaders in their strategic team while expanding into South Asia. HR worked on culture training for Japanese manager, localized recruitment, strategic alliances with technical schools. This proactive HR involvement lead to smooth factory launches and local employee engagement. Strategic HRM requires integration, shared responsibility and external awareness. Honoring Canninger's principle will guide modern HRM practices across global industries. Organizations that adopt these principles outperform where HR is reactive and soiled. Think peer share. Think of an organization you are familiar with. How could they improve by applying these three strategic HRM? And the quiz for you students: what does vertical integration in HR refer to? Why is HR response to pest factors? And name one benefit of sharing HR accountability across the all levels. And the conclusion is strategic HRM is not just about hiring and firing. It's about making HRR drivers competitive advantage. By following Onding's and Ninja's principle, HR shapes strategy, support transformation and ensures organizational sustainability. Thank you.